Today, Group 2 is presenting our final public relations project, Tide versus Boeing. Both companies had a faulty product, but two different responses.
So let's start with Tide. Tide and their strange appeal to pods. So what was this issue? Teenagers and young kids started eating Tide Pods and filming a part of this Tide Pod challenge on social media back in 2018. People thought it was funny eating laundry detergent and getting sick over it, sometimes even death, and posting pictures of themselves throughout social media. For the company Tide, this set a bad example for their product and was quite embarrassing. On the website, it even said, "What should Tide Pods be used for? Doing laundry and nothing else." Parents were also very worried about their child's well-being. Here's a quick video from CBS New York.
Safety experts are warning about the latest dangerous social media challenge involving teenagers.
They're popping detergent pods into their mouths and then posting the videos online.
All right, come on.
Many of the social media videos are recorded and posted by minors. They're putting poisonous laundry pods in their mouths for clicks and internet fame.
One.
They call it the Tide Pod Challenge.
Oh my God!
19-year-old Mark Pagan did it on a dare. He told us he knew better, but did it anyway.
As you could see, it was very unsettling and very disgusting. So Tide took this serious and made all new packaging for their Tide Pods with child locks so children don't get their hands on them that easily. This issue took all over the world because it was so insane that people were eating Tide Pods. Tide also even got Rob Gronkowski, a football player, telling people not to eat Tide Pods. In fact, they even took to Twitter on their official account saying, "The only thing it should be on today's menu are nacho, wings, and plenty of teen spirit. Save your Tide Pods for stains later." So this was a long process because it began in 2018. It's still going on. And here's the viral video of Rob Gronkowski.
No, 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 no. No, no, no. No. What the heck is going on, people? Use Tide Pods for washing, not eating. Do not eat.
And on a more serious note, another issue with faulty products happened that year with Boeing, who faced extremely negative press after 3 of their 747 MAX planes crashed in 2019. It only got worse when one of the planes was never found. One of the main issues with this incident is Boeing clearly didn't have an idea of why it happened. They gave a vague explanation about their flight control systems, but more or less, it was soon determined that the crashes were not the result of human error. It was, in fact, an error with Boeing's planes.
March 10th was a clear morning. Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 had just left Addis Ababa for Nairobi when it plummeted nose first into a field outside the Ethiopian capital. A disaster that killed all 157 people on board. A preliminary report now rules out human error as the cause of the tragedy, suggesting the crew did everything in their power to avoid the crash.
As you can see, this was a scary situation, and it affected Boeing's audience in many ways. First of all, the customers were very scared. They didn't want to book new flights when it was possible that they could crash and no one would know why. And so their revenue went way down because no one wanted to be in the air at this time if their safety wasn't guaranteed. Secondly, investors weren't willing to give new money to Boeing because of the bad press and the incompetence that the press implied. Because Boeing wasn't able to give an explanation, there was no new money to actually fix the disaster or to rebuild their brand. Investors just didn't want to get in on Boeing until they could figure out this issue.
So this leads to the potential problem for the company. The potential problem for Boeing is it would not be having the consumer and airlines trust in using their products. This would result in a loss of credibility and a lot of money as well. Also, having a company that builds and manufactures aircrafts that have crashed is never a good look. This led to a drop in their status that they worked so hard towards.
We have designed a 3-step solution for Boeing: investigating, fixing, and rebuilding. Our first step of investigating, the creators of Boeing airplane will announce an ongoing investigation into the malfunctions that have been occurring. The creators should emphasize full transparency throughout the investigation and ground all Boeing planes until the investigation has come to a solution. This may create short-term losses for Boeing, but it will ensure a long-term solution that will help Boeing in the future. Our second step of fixing. Once the issue with the planes have been identified, all Boeing planes will be banded to undergo maintenance to remedy this issue. Continuing with full transparency with the public, the creators will let the public know the problem and what is going on to fix this. This will allow credibility to be restored, to allow the public to know that they are doing everything in their power to create a safe environment for their customers. The third step of rebuilding, when the planes are fixed and ready to fly, Boeing will have to rebuild their credibility and customer base. We suggest creating new commercials. For example, one that features Top Gun star Tom Cruise, who is associated with planes. This will give us the power of celebrity endorsements, as well as emphasizing the safety approvals from international agencies like the FAA, who will grant us airworthiness.
So this whole process is going to be long-term. It won't happen in a couple days or a week. It'll definitely take a longer time to complete. So now we have the tactics, logos, and ethos. Logos is finding the well-defined problem that caused the crashes and giving an explanation that anyone can understand. There's no jargon. So this means that there's transparency throughout the company and open to telling the audience the problems, but also making sure that the audience finds the information easy to understand in simplistic terms, so they're always in the loop and telling the public the solution constantly and what they're doing better to improve it. And lastly, ethos, which is using the credibility of airline safety certification agencies to restore confidence in Boeing after the fixes are implemented. So just making sure that the company and the people have confidence with Boeing and constantly want to help them improve and help understand, and Boeing can be successful in the end. So thank you for listening.